Hey,
Hi, everybody.
how's it going?
Hey, everybody. Hey, this is Marc Platt and Mike Rogers. He's in Japan. I'm in Los Angeles. We thought we would get together and have a little conversation, maybe to help other artists and stations and promoters and things like that about some of the ins and outs of indie radio, some of the do's and don'ts, things that'll make it easier for you to get played on the radio. How
That's
you
right.
doing, Mike?
Fine. How are you, Mark?
Pretty good. Now, Mike was in a band in the late 70s, early 80s called the Rotters in Santa Barbara, well before he moved to Japan.
Yeah.
And they had one K-Rock hit called Sit on My Face, Stevie Nicks. And you've had some recent activity with that, Mike. You want to tell us about it?
Well, just this morning I got an article of a interview of a rock band called I don't know what name. What is the name of this rock band?
I
Anyways,
don't,
it's about faulty products records,
okay.
and they're interviewing some artist, and he's talking about the first punk band he ever saw when he was a kid, and it was the Rotters, and we had a hit called "Sit on My Face," Stevie Nicks, and he said that he was working at a record store, and they had a wall on the wall like the top 100 singles, and since that was such a big hit, one Saturday they just covered the whole 100 spaces with that single, and that morning around 11 o'clock, really pissed off, Stevie Nicks walks in and said, I was told you're selling this record. I can't believe it. And she was screaming at the guy, and she told him to take him down. And the guy said, I can't do that. And she said, get the manager. And the manager said, the only way those are coming down is if someone buys them. And so she said, so I'll buy them all. So she bought all 200 of the singles, and she walked out of the store and threw them in the trash can out the door. And the manager
What?
said,
How long ago was this?
well, it had to be 1978, I guess.
Okay, so this is when the prime time for the Fleetwood Mac, and so this is the original Catch and Kill. And for people who don't know what Catch and Kill is, like I was watching this great documentary on the National Enquirer the other day. Catch and Kill is when they would take an article, basically, and kill it by buying the rights to that story
Yeah.
from about. So this is you were probably pre Catch and Kill, 1978, 79.
Well,
So
she threw all the singles into the trash, and the guy says, you know, did you go and pull them out of the garbage after she left? And he said no. So actually, she is partially responsible for that record being so expensive.
oh yeah, that's right. You could buy it on eBay or certain places for a lot of money right now, which
Yeah.
is great. So let's talk about indie right now because I'm a consultant on a couple stations, and your show is on 35 stations worldwide in
36 now.
36 stations, 19 countries, right?
Yeah.
And Core, which is a station I work with in England, and Pop Radio, which is another.
Very popular station. Thank you.
And Mike Mike started this venture of his new show after he left Inter FM in Japan, going worldwide on all these stations. And KOR was the first station, and Pop Radio, I think, was the second station that carried the show. So what we thought we would do is give you guys a couple of ins and outs. We get a lot of requests. We get a lot of submissions from you guys, and we get so many PR related emails for indie music. We thought we'd give you a couple tips that would make it easier for you to get airplay.
Yeah, Mark, don't you must get 200 song submissions a week, at least.
Yes.
Yeah, so do I.
And so you know what I do, and I tell this because I send out emails. When I get emails that just have links, I send an email that says something like this. You may or may not know this, but I basically delete every email that does not have a tagged MP3 attached to it.
That's right.
And I send that email out as a courtesy. And basically, what I don't want to do is I don't want to listen to 10 songs by a band. I don't want to listen to your record. I want to hear your best song. The best thing you've got right now. So if you send me a tag, and what does tagged mean, Mike?
The name and the name of the artist and the name of the song is properly tagged on the MP3 or WAV file, so that when we drag it to our player, it doesn't say blank and then some
Master.
master, and it's like we can't use that.
Okay, so let me give you guys a tip, because I get 50 MP3s a week that are not tagged. It may just have the title of the song. Think about this. If you get your song on the radio, would you want it to air there with an improper title and no name of the band on it when it airs? I don't think so. So the way you do it, if you have a PC, which is a personal computer made by Microsoft, you would take your MP3 file, right-click on it, go into the properties, go to where it says details on the top, and then just make sure it has the title of the song, and then where it says contributing artist, the name of the act. That's all. And then you should put the year, the name of the album. You should put that stuff, but you don't have to. We have to have at least the title on the top in the details area, under property, and then contributing artist is where the name of the band goes.
That's right.
Right.
What you might want to add, Mark, that as DJs, we want to be, every DJ wants to be the first one to play a song by an artist that later on becomes big. And if we can, and if the artists are sending out these untagged MP3s or waves or whatever they're sending out to 50 or 60 artists, DJs, I know that 50 or 60 DJs are throwing those in the trash, and that band's not going to make it. It just takes like 5 seconds to tag your song correctly.
Correct. And here's the other thing, the email. I get so many of these slick PR emails. So I know you artists are spending hundreds of dollars to have these PR companies or whatever handle your thing for you. The thing that's missing out for us is we just want the damn music. So we want a simple email. Hi, Mike, or hi, Mark. Here's my band. I'm from Auckland. Can you, and we sound like the Bay City Rollers, 1974, thought this would fit your format of your show.
Yeah.
And that's done your homework, because then you know we're not a metal, we don't do metal, we don't do hip hop or whatever. And
Christian rock.
Right. We have so many friends that have, great shows like Rodney Bingenheimer, like, their producer, like, she is always posting out. You need to listen to our show, or you need to at least look and see the kind of artists and the music that we play.
Yeah.
And Mike and I are the same way for our shows. I have my Radio Candy Indie show, and Mike has the Mike Rogers show. And it's like, we're not going to play hip hop. We're not going to play metal. We're not going to play, Chinese folk songs or whatever. You should know who you're dealing with.
Yeah.
And not to put too much information in the email, because we're lazy. We're not going to read it.
And we're underpaid.
Mike, tell everybody, and I'm the same way. When you get a song, how do you listen to that song? How much of the song do you listen to before you decide if you're going to play it?
At the most 5 seconds.
Okay, for me, it's more like 15, 20 seconds. I'll listen to the intro, right? I always listen to the intro. Then I'll flip ahead to the chorus. Yeah. And then I'll know within 15 to 20 seconds if that song fits the Radio Candy Indie show or the station that I work with. Okay?
Yeah.
So here's a big hint, guys. Long intros, progressive rock intros, not a good idea. You want to have a good 10, 12, 15-second intro at most that sounds like indie radio when you send it to us. Because if we hear this, if it takes a minute intro to get into your song, it's pretty much going to go in the trash. And I got to tell you guys, I do my best, and Mike too. If you send us stuff that's even reasonably, indie radio that fits our format, you'll have a chance for us to play it. But if you're giving us really bad, long progressive rock intros or metal and, swear words are a no-no, Like I deal with a lot of British stations, and in Britain they have very stringent laws about the 7 dirty words. Okay,
Oh,
like Sirius and a few of these other formats are a little more open to it, but we run into problems if we have a lot of swearing on these records. So that's another big no-no.
yeah,
So what have we learned so far, Mike? We want tagged MP3s
yeah,
that format of our stations and our shows.
yeah.
We don't want press releases. We don't want links. These are important things for you guys to realize.
Well, it's okay. A lot of artists nowadays are sending me this is our, a long PR thing, which I don't read. And then it says, here's the links, here's Spotify, iTunes, whatever. I don't even know what the hell they are. And I don't even listen to them because
Right.
I can't play those songs. Why? And then if I did listen to it, I would have to write back to the artist, wait for you guys to respond. And if you just tag if you attach one MP3, maybe two, I can listen to it right there on the spot. I don't even have to download it. I can listen to it. If I like it, I just drag it to my playlist. Don't have to look at it again. But I always write thank you.
Right. Here's the key. Here's the key, everybody. Make our lives easy. Make it easy for us to help you. Okay? Help us help you.
Yeah.
And by doing that, you'll have a better chance of success. And
Yeah.
then you could tell Ginny at Thanksgiving, I was on, 35 stations worldwide or whatever, because you made it easy for Mike to play you. And by the way, a nice thank you on social media goes a long way. When you see yourself tagged, on Facebook or Twitter or whatever, like that Mike played you or I played you, whatever, if you just said, hey, thanks for the spin, that goes a long way with us.
It does.
Because we're not heavily paid for what we're doing here.
Yeah.
We're really, we are barely surviving in the jungle known as indie radio. But you know what? We've worked really hard to be able to make it so that, my show's on about 15 stations. Mike's on 36 stations right now. I run a few stations. I do a lot of work with these stations in Britain and stuff. We want to support you. But if you make it hard for us to support you, we can't support you.
Yeah.
So you want to make it. Go ahead, Mike.
I do a local FM show in Japan, and I play a lot of the bands from that local area. And there's probably 7 or 8, but I basically stopped playing 5 or 6 of them because only 3 of them every week will write on Facebook like thank you, or share is really important. So I think like, oh, okay, they're helping to promote me and the show, so I'll play them next week. But if you don't do that, and you don't do that for like 2 or 3 weeks in a row, let's stop playing you, right? Because it doesn't matter. My audience will not go up or down whether I play you or I don't play you. But
Right.
if you're promoting me and promoting the show, it's a team deal. We're working together here, and then I'll play you again.
Right. So I'm hoping this really sinks into you guys, because it's really important to understand that there are so many of you trying to get airplay. And I'm really not exaggerating here. I get anywhere between 50 and 250, depending if it's a holiday or whatever, of submissions a week. All right. I pretty much delete all of the ones that only have links, like he said, Spotify or whatever. I do not want to listen to your full record. I just want 1 or 2. This is really important because, and I know you guys have spent a lot of money and time and energy to make a great album, okay? But that's what family and friends are for, okay?
Yeah.
But the rest of the world wants to hear your best thing. And then if that works out, the rest of the material will infiltrate what we're talking about. Like I have a great radio promo service. You can reach out to me, and we're gonna give our socials right now. So if you want to, if you're interested in getting on 100 stations and the Radio Indie Alliance charts, which Mike and I both report to, we have several shows that report to those charts. You can reach me at candyradiohitsongs@yahoo.com. You can send me an email and say, hey, Mark, I'm interested in talking to you about your radio promo. Okay. And we can talk, And then Mike, if you're interested in getting a hold of Mike, why don't you give us the way to submit material to you?
Twitter.
Okay. So reach Mike at this Twitter handle. Go ahead, Mike.
What is it? I don't know. I don't know what my Twitter handle. Wait a minute. But one thing I want to say, do you have a Spotify?
Do I have a Spotify?
Yeah. I don't even have a Spotify.
Well, I do for my art, my music, my own personal music stuff. Yes, you can get me on Spotify.
Okay. My
but I
Twitter.
don't push.
Oh, go ahead. Okay, I'm Mike in Tokyo 2004. Very simple. Mike in Tokyo 2004. Right.
Okay. And that's the best way to reach Mike. Mike's a big Twitter guy. I'm a big email guy. You can reach us both on Facebook, and we'll post this video on Facebook too. But it's really important not to send too many songs, I don't want to get an email from you every other day. Here's another song, or even every other week. You guys should be more judicious. Send one song a month, and you'll have much better chance with Mike and I and many of these other stations. I'm just telling you, we get bombarded. So if we're seeing the same bands every week or whatever, it's a big turnoff. Help us help you, because we want to support you, but you don't have to have 12 songs in rotation all at once from this project.
Well, it's also important to remember that persistence pays off. I've had bands who wrote to me and wrote to me and wrote to me and wrote to me, and finally I listened to all the songs and got nah, and then finally one time, oh, this song's good, and I played it.
Right. So and then you're off. Yeah, and persistence is good, but what I'm saying is, let's say we play your song on our show. I know you get excited and you're like, okay, here's another one. Oh, and here's another one, and here's another one. Everyone has that feeling, and because you're creative people and you want to do this, and this is how you want to go about it. But I'm just telling you, think of it from the program director's standpoint. If we're consistently just getting bombarded from the same bands every week, then it makes it really difficult for your fellow artists to get in there, right?
Yeah.
I have 215 songs sitting in my play folder waiting to get on shows.
Mm.
I have 17 or 18 slots in my 1 hour weekly show. I'm now 4 months backed up. That means I have 274 shows in the can for the Radio Candy Indie Show. The stations are right now playing episode 245. So that's almost 29 shows ahead. That's how much material I'm getting, Mike.
Well,
Mike has an even bigger problem, because a lot of his bands that he plays on his show are Japanese bands. So that leaves maybe 7 or 8 to 10 at the most slots in a 2-hour weekly show for bands from other countries. Am I right about that?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So use your head, people. Hit us with your best.
Let me make a last comment.
Sure.
There's a lot of I hate to use this word, pay for play spots, and you can tell if someone is honest or not honest by just looking at their charts. If you look at their chart and the number one song has been number one for like 22 weeks, that's impossible. Don't spend your money on that, because it's a scam.
Right. Okay. So here's the thing. So let's talk about the chart. So Mike and I are both involved with Radio Indie Alliance, which has been around for about 5 years. I'm one of the admins. Basically, it's a bunch of stations and shows all over the world that do their own charts. The stations pick what they want to be on their charts. They may or may not have an algorithm. People ask us about this all the time. So it's, it has to do with the taste of the program director or the DJ that's doing the chart or whatever.
Yeah.
And It doesn't mean that you're getting 9 million spins a week or whatever on the show. You may be just on the show once, but they liked your song and they put it on their chart. So it's important for you to be realistic, okay, about what's going on here.
Yeah.
If you get on a bunch of charts, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That means whoever your promoter is, whether it be me or other promoters, is doing a good job getting your song out there to a lot of these stations or whatever. But it's important for you to also realize there's other acts that need to have exposure too.
Yeah.
So may not be on there every week. Like Mike was just saying, if you're number 1, 2, or 3 for 22 straight weeks or whatever, it's probably kind of a bogus thing, right?
Yeah, that's right.
But if you're getting on a lot of charts in a certain amount of time frame, maybe over a month, that's a good run. That's a great run for you guys. So
yeah, if you're on if you're on Radio Indie Alliance and you get a song on 5 or 6 charts in the top 10, like one song, 5 or 6 charts in the top 10, and you do that for like 2 weeks, that's amazing.
Right, exactly. It's really good. So we just wanted to do this. If this is popular, we'll do this again, and maybe we'll have some other advice. Mike was in this band in the the late 70s, early 80s called the Rotters. I was in a band called the Real Impossible. So I've been an artist for 40 years also, and I still make records and stuff. But radio is my thing. Doing radio promo and working with the stations and working with my buddy Mike Rogers here, who I love dearly.
Yeah.
Mike and I are friends for years, and we want you to survive, and we want you to thrive, and especially during this pandemic, this is a good time to get the stuff out there. I know you guys are bored, but don't overdo it. Help you. That's the big message. So we're going to sign off now, but
okay.
We want you guys to come back, and we'll post this on YouTube. And if you guys leave comments and stuff, maybe we'll do this again.
Yeah, or slip $20 bills into an envelope and hand it to it. That's that'll work.
So I'm Mike. I'm Marc Platt, and you're
Mike Rogers. See you next time.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.